for coming in today. I really appreciate it. It's very brave of you guys to come in. I wanted to go over a couple of items. First of all, did you find my office okay?
Yeah.
No problems whatsoever
No problems.
with parking or anything? Okay,
Not
okay.
at all.
Okay, I know Independence can be a bear, so I always like to check. One thing I want you guys to be aware of is I am bound by confidentiality, so what stays here, what's said here stays here. But if you ever, I think that you're going to hurt yourself or others, I will need to break that confidentiality.
Okay.
One other thing that I do is I have a rule of no cross-talking. So what that means, if Danae is speaking, you can't speak. And if Steve is speaking, you can't speak. So we're going to take turns. So no cross-talking, having arguments over each other and all of that. Okay, well, let's start with Steve.
Mm-hmm.
What brings you in today?
Okay. I'm doing okay right now, but I have PTSD. I'm a veteran. I served in Afghanistan, and the PTSD has been bad lately. I had a bad incident on 4th of July, and I've just regressed since then, and I just feel like I can't control it, and I'm angry, I'm short-tempered. Like, I see it now, but and I feel bad when I'm putting my wife through. And the worst part is, like, she can't sleep in bed with me anymore because during the night I'm having these like flashbacks in the middle of the night when I'm sleeping. I think I'm dreaming or something, and I got up and I attacked her one time. Like, I thought I was in combat, and it's scary because I feel like I can't control it, and I need help.
Okay. So what I hear you saying is you've got PTSD and you're having symptoms that are just really scary. You don't want these symptoms and you really want to control that.
Yeah.
I'd like to know, how do you know you've got PTSD? Did someone diagnose you formally, or is that
Yeah.
just that you know that you have it?
I worked with a therapist one-on-one a couple of years ago and diagnosed me with it, and it ran its course and I stopped going, and I didn't want to go anymore.
Yeah. Did that therapist, so you mean when it ran its course, did this therapist help you at all with PTSD?
I felt like I didn't get a lot of help from it, and I think that's kind of why I stopped going. I just got frustrated with the process and wasn't making any progress, and I just zoned out and didn't want to go to therapy anymore.
Okay. So you've been diagnosed with PTSD and you need help with the symptoms.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And I appreciate your coming in, Danae, very much. Tell me what your side of the story of the PTSD. What's it like for you?
It's horrible because of course I love Steve. At the same time, my safety is now of concern. But before he went to Afghanistan, he was very, just opposite, really. Just, as far as, happy, enthusiastic, about life. He wasn't very, on edge and so hyper vigilant about every single thing, And then also there's an element of, sadness because, and I feel that energy because, once he knew, he chokes me and I can't sleep in the same bed with him, that obviously affects our intimacy. And so I'm feeling, very saddened and hopeless about our situation, and I want to support him, and I want to know that this can change, because right now it's, like walking on eggshells every day, all day in our house.
One thing I like to do, and I want to ask you a follow-up question. One thing I like to do is use scales. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not different at all and 10 being completely opposite person, how different is Steve since he's gotten back?
I'd say a 9. Completely different.
Okay.
I mean, I know he tries when he recognizes, kind of consciously some things there and, maybe sees my reactions or feels my energy as a result of his, but, you know, I just wanted to be like it was.
Okay, okay. Describe to me what it was like before.
So before, you know, we could, you know, we spent a lot more time out, you know, going, you know, to the movies or to, you know, restaurants and dinner, but now we don't because, you know, depending on what the movie is, you know, so many different types of triggers and things that, you know, happen, and then, you know, being on edge, you know, who's in the movie theater, what's gonna happen, and then, you know, dinner, you know, if it's crowd and all the hustle and bustle, and like one time we were out at dinner and a plate dropped, and, you know, you would have thought we were back in the war, guns going off, I assume, or what have you, and, you know, we were able to do all of these things. We didn't have any restrictions in regards to activities, like certain things, you know, nothing was off limit. You know, we could be free to, you know, live and experience life, but now we have to think about, you know, all of these things.
Okay.
And so now it's like we have gone from being, you know, out and about exploring life together to now being forced to be homebodies and not going anywhere. It's like, you know, we're trapped.
So I think what you're saying is that you were really free to live your life before, and now he's a completely different person, and you're not free, and you want to ease those restrictions that his PTSD is bringing.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I recognize what she's saying. Like I said, I feel pretty good right now, and I see her side of it. Like, we're not in conflict here. Like I sympathize. I'm sorry that this is the situation, but these episodes come and they go, and I can't control them, and it's very scary. I'm on edge all the time, and it just feels like it's beyond my control.
Yeah. So it's beyond your control. Tell me about the last episode.
There was the 4th of July incident, and I knew I didn't want to. There's like a neighborhood block party on 4th of July. I knew I didn't want to go because I have a problem with the fireworks going off. So I stayed in the house, but I could still hear them, and I just like collapsed into a ball and like put my hands over my face and ears, and it was just very triggering. I was right back in combat and remembering friends that died and feeling shame and guilt. Like, you know, I think about things I could have done differently maybe, and I think about the things that I saw, and these flashbacks. It's not just when fireworks are going off outside. Like, they just hit me sometimes, and like I'm slamming doors for no reason, and I'm raising my voice for no reason. It's just, I agree. Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's definitely at least a 9 that I've changed. I think when I'm feeling okay, I'm like my old self, but there's just so many episodes now. It's almost every day. And like I said, like I attacked her in the night one time, and that was, after that, like I felt like now it's threatening my marriage, and that was very concerning for me.
Yeah. Tell me about how many times a day this happens, either the flashbacks or the dissociation or any of it. How often?
I wouldn't say it's every day, but it's several days a week for sure. Yeah.
And how long do the episodes last? Are we talking 5 minutes? Or are we talking an hour? How long are we talking?
I'd say up to about a half hour, 20 minutes to a half hour. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's very vivid. Like, smells come back to me, like all my senses.
Like you're there.
Yeah.
What have you done to ameliorate your symptoms? Anything, if anything. Are you on medication? Have you been to support groups?
I haven't been in support groups. I did something kind of stupid. I got a buddy that, and she doesn't know this, but I want to complain about it. I got a buddy that gave me some marijuana, and I smoked a little bit, and just to chill out for a couple hours felt good.
Okay.
Felt good, but I know I don't want to go down that road.
Right. And it's funny that you say that, because there is a hallucinogenic drug that helps you remember some of the trauma and get it out which is LSD, but not heroin. So I'm not saying go jump on the LSD train, but it's funny that you decided to try a hallucinogenic drug.
It was just pot. It was just marijuana.
Oh, okay.
Did I say?
You said
marijuana?
heroin.
You said heroin.
No,
that's
no, no,
all.
no, no. I'm sorry. No, I meant marijuana.
I say my husband is over here doing heroin now.
No, I would never do that. I don't know why I said that. Really, it was pot. It was just pot.
How many times a week do you smoke pot?
No, I only did it twice.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, I just tried it. It felt good. I don't want to do it again.
What about other substances like alcohol or any other addictions like gambling or shopping or?
No, I drink here and there, but that's never been my thing. It's not, I'll have a drink or two here and there, but it's not.
Yeah. Any pills that you feel like you're addicted to?
No.
Okay. How often do you take a drink and what do you drink?
Just have a couple of beers. Sometimes at night, watching football, just have a couple of beers.
Okay.
I don't really like the hard stuff.
Yeah.
Drinking, I don't know, I just don't like the way it makes me feel.
Yeah. I got you. I have to ask.
No, I understand.
Yeah. I want to assess any addictions.
Yeah. No, addictions aren't a problem.
Okay. Danae, what do you feel about what he has just disclosed, like the marijuana use or any of it?
Well, now I feel like what I said, the man that's here, like, before all of this, I don't think that he would have been doing drugs and not telling me about it. So now I feel betrayed. So now there's this new element that's so in other words, like I said, I kind of feel like this is building and I'm not liking where it's going to. Now I do hear and appreciate him saying, okay, I don't plan on trying this again. I don't want to do this again. But I'm like, okay, what if the next opportunity presents itself and yeah, maybe it is heroin then, or LSD, or whatever else, in other words. But at the root, it's like, what else are you keeping from me, or what else would you keep from me that just feels like a vicious cycle right now. And I hear him struggling with this. I hear him wanting to. I mean, obviously we're here to see you to get help, but yeah, it's just it's one thing after another, and I am exhausted.
You're exhausted. What does that look like?
Exhausted looks like just exhausted. Like, I mean, mentally drained thinking about all of this. Like, it's like my brain can't cut off from thinking about this because I love him and I want to help him, but at the same time, it feels like, okay, it's all impacting me too. Where I'm exhausted mentally, but physically, because yeah, I can't sleep with him, and that's supposed to be my peaceful place to sleep, and then I'm such a light sleeper that I'm hearing him verbalize these dreams and the tossing and turning and just kind of the anger that's coming out as a result just of the nightmares, and then when he wakes I have to live through this each day with him. So it's like nonstop. So yeah, it's exhausting. That's what exhaustion looks like in my world.
Okay, I get it. Let me ask you, are you taking care of yourself? Do you sleep well?
No.
What about other ways of taking care of yourself? Do you? What's your self-care look like?
What's self-care? What is self-care? I don't know. So the answer is no.
No self-care. The PTSD not only affects the veteran, but their families as well, and even other family members like your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, any children. You guys have any children?
No.
No, but I want children. And I'm afraid of having children and bringing them into this. So that's another issue. So it's all these issues.
You want children, but you're afraid to bring them into these symptoms that he's having.
Yes.
Yeah. What about you, Steve? Do you want children?
I always did, but I just know now is not the time. It's maybe someday if I can get healthier.
Yeah. What would you like to see happen what would you like to get from therapy?
I want to know the solution for this. Like, how do I not have these flashbacks? How do I not get all these bursts of rage? And how do I go back to being who I was before? Like, I'm worried the damage is done, but I still have hope that I could be healthy and not have these symptoms.
Yeah. PTSD does change your brain. So one of the things we'll need to do is some work on changing your brain functionality, changing your brain functionality. Let me ask you this: are you hypervigilant? I saw you look over your shoulder. Maybe you heard a sound.
I thought someone knocked at the door. I thought I heard something.
Okay. Do
Yeah,
you-
that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Often?
I jump. Yeah, I startle very easily. Like if I'm watching TV and she'll come into the bedroom, just turning the doorknob, I jump. I jump. I got on my skin.
That's got to be very, very frustrating.
It's
very
frustrating, 'cause
difficult
then I
and
snap at her.
exhausting to
Is that-
live with.
It is. Constantly getting startled is very aggravating.
So how do you react when you're startled? Other than jumping out of
Yeah, I
your
jump
skin?
out of my skin, but then I get angry, and I'll snap at her. Because all the time it's something that she's doing, but it's not on purpose at all. It's totally inadvertent. But like I said, just turning the doorknob, I'll jump.
How does Danae respond when you get angry and you snap at
It
her?
hurts her feelings, and she's a little more shy, so she just clams up and goes into her own little inner world.
Yeah. What's it like being Danae?
I think it's very challenging. I recognize what I'm putting her through. I give her a lot of credit for sticking by me, but I'm worried that she's getting to her breaking point. And I know we're getting to the end of our session, but I hope that we can work on our relationship and help her cope and help me get better.
Yeah. Danae, what's it like being Steve?
Fearful in terms of your wife going to leave and not being able to relax and just, on edge constantly. Sadness because you can't control certain things there. So
So you understand in your mind what it's like to be Steve, but it's hard in your heart. It's difficult.
correct.
Yeah. And I asked Danae this, but I forgot to ask you. What's your sleep like? Do you get any sleep?
I sleep for like 2 hours at a time, and I wake up interrupted, sometimes because of dreams, sometimes just no reason.
Are they dreams or nightmares?
Nightmares.
Okay. All right. And let me ask you, is there any dissociation?
It feels like I'm not in my body sometimes. I feel like I'm an outside observer, literally. Like I feel like I'm like up in the corner somewhere watching myself, and watching the world around me.
Right.
It's very strange and surreal. Like I never, even now, I don't feel like I'm 100% here.
Okay, I gotcha. What about your self-care routine? Are you taking care of yourself?
I am. I I shower every morning. I brush my teeth. I'm able to do those things.
Okay, so just real basic self-care, nothing else.
I'm not going for massages or anything like that.
What do you
no.
spend time with friends?
I got a couple of buddies. Yeah, we play poker.
Do you do anything other than smoke marijuana?
That was only a 2-time thing. Yeah, that's not an issue.
Okay. I just want to make sure, because with PTSD, we tend to not take care of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, that not only affects Steve, but it affects those around him, his family members. So I want to be sure that you guys are taking care of yourself. Eating, sleeping, taking care of yourself. Spending time with friends.
We can work on that.
Okay. I know we're coming to the end of our session. Will you check the clock?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's way fast? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, you guys, I appreciate you coming in today. I hope to see you again next week. Thank you for coming.
Okay. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
You're 19 minutes.
19?
So, yeah, 19.
Wow.
At 50